search.
Ready enough. May there be other timelines and titans to find.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Mortal Kombat video. If you're new here, I'm Cyraxs, and this is Beyond The Hourglass, a series where we take a look at the histories of combatants throughout the timelines. Well, to be specific, we are currently tackling the new MK1 DLC fighters at the moment, but we'll eventually tackle the rest of the cast at some point. In today's episode, we'll be going over the warrior of the Lin Kuei himself, Cyrax. Cyrax has had a tragic story, being forced to become a cyborg against his will throughout the timelines. Well, all except for MK1 for the time being. But we'll be keeping an eye on it, because one of the intros between Sector and Cyrax leaves that possibility still on the table, or we once thought maybe they wouldn't go that route because of the armor suits Sector had developed.
The armor's just a first step, isn't it?
You will find out in time.
Mortal Kombat 1 seems to be going down a more Iron Man type of path with Mortal Kombat 1. And after all this, we now have questions on the future of the Lin Kuei, which will be a video for another time, I think. But guys, if you haven't already, I'd appreciate it if you guys would hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you like what you've seen so far. You know, any support would be appreciated. But anyways, Cyrax makes his first appearance in Mortal Kombat 3, being the second of the 3 prototypes given the ID tag LK-4D4. Cyrax's last program was to eliminate the traitor Sub-Zero. Because he had no soul, he wasn't targeted by Shao Kahn's elimination squads, so he was unseen by them. But unfortunately, Cyrax is captured by Sub-Zero after being defeated by him. Sub-Zero manages to capture him and reprograms Cyrax with a new mission. He must eliminate Shao Kahn. And unfortunately, it seems like he couldn't defeat Shao Kahn because Cyrax is defeated and tossed in the Jade Desert, malfunctioning, as you can see in the map of an Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. After a long period of time, Cyrax is eventually rescued by Sector, who had him repaired, which was relatively easy due to him not being too severely damaged. But the Lin Kuei became suspicious of Cyrax. He had been acting strange. He seemed different than when he was first set off to kill Sub-Zero. So the Grandmaster orders Sector to keep an eye on him closely, and if he attempts to betray the clan, he is ordered to eliminate him. Cyrax eventually manages to regain his memories during the fight with Shinnok, which granted him his free will back. But Cyrax didn't see no point in existence where he was a machine, so with the help of Jax and Sonya, they managed to restore his soul somehow.
Sonya, hit the switch on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, power down now.
Powering down.
I am human. I feel life once again, and I remember everything. Thank you so much. I am forever in your debt. I will not return to my Lin Kuei roots as an assassin. I instead choose to fight at your side for Earth. Well, that's good news.
Let's get you out of these harnesses. You've been trapped long enough.
Which really isn't explained that well. I think it's just one of those things where, you know, they just kind of put it in there and we're just hoping people go with it. And like back then, this is an old school game, so, you know, a lot of that stuff wasn't, you know, canonical and all that. But anyways, either way, he renounces the Lin Kuei and joins the Special Forces. After the invasion of Earthrealm by Shao Kahn and then the Netherrealm War with Shinnok and Quan Chi, Jax and Sonya, they got tired of being on the defensive. After all, they had been fighting the forces of Outworld for a decade, unprotected and on the defensive. It was time to act. Jax manages to convince his superiors that they needed a way to detect would-be invaders. So, with the government's blessing, they established a new division of the Special Forces, codenamed SFOIA, better known as the Special Forces Outer World Investigation Agency. Cyrax, now a full-fledged member of the Special Forces, new division, was assigned to Outworld as a scout, but was ambushed on his last trip to Outworld by Reptile, who destroyed the ARM console that housed the inter-realm portal technology, which kept him stranded in Outworld. Desperate to find a way home, Cyrax would eventually run into a Vaterian, Natara, who offered to send him back to Earthrealm if he would retrieve an object that was trapped in lava for her. Cyrax ultimately agrees and sets off to get the object. Little does Cyrax know, though, that Natara was actually responsible for his arm control being destroyed. She planned this. Like, she sent Reptile to attack him and destroy his arm console so he would be willing to do anything to make it back home. After all, Natara wouldn't survive the lava to retrieve it, so she needed someone who could survive that intense heat of the lava. At the end of the day, though, she did return him home, so I guess there's no harm, no foul. Cyrax eventually re-emerges with the orb in hand, and Natara, true to her word, does send Cyrax home. Cyrax makes it home and rejoins the fight with the forces of light as they go to secure the Temple of Argus, aka Armageddon.
The enormous heat and pressure of the lava burned out Cyrax's senses almost immediately. He cast about blindly in the infernal pit, searching for the orb Natara had sent him to locate. Cyrax found it resting upon a small submerged pedestal beneath the molten depths. As soon as he clambered to the surface, she demanded he hand over the orb. Natara had promised to return Cyrax to Earthrealm once the orb had been retrieved. Taking her necklace in hand, she uttered a mystical incantation. A swirling portal opened around Cyrax had he only had time for a solemn bow before he was swept into the gateway.
The ending of the first timeline gets a bit shaky for Cyrax, as the only real information I could find on basically him during the game is just his ending, which he just turns him to a human and him and Sub-Zero fight off Smoke and Sector. And after they defeat them, they reprogram to fight for the Lin Kuei, and until they can find a new way to restore them back to their human forms. Which is strange because I could have sworn he renounced the Lin Kuei back in Mortal Kombat Gold, so it's a little weird that, you know, maybe I guess at some point during the Deadly Alliance and Deception, he and Kuai Liang rejoined the Lin Kuei, I guess. I don't know. It was a little confusing. It's not really explained well, but like I said, back then the story was a little shaky at times. But anyways, yeah, I think he probably joined Sub-Zero probably after he defeated Sector for control of the clan. Now that Sector had been defeated and driven out of the Lin Kuei, Cyrax was finally free from becoming a slave to the Cyber Initiative again. The old Lin Kuei really did him wrong, destroying his soul and forcing him to go through the cyborg protocols. And although he did get his soul back, he was still trapped in a cyborg's body. And with Mortal Kombat finally making a comeback after 5 years of being on the shelf, nothing really changed in the second timeline. Mortal Kombat 9 did head in a different direction, but with the conclusion of Armageddon, it seemed like Shao Kahn was the one whose ending was canon. Shao Kahn defeats Blaze, and only Raiden is left to stand against him. However, Shao Kahn is empowered by Argus's god power, which makes Raiden no match for him. So instead of trying to defeat him, Raiden decides to send his memories back to his younger self to alter the flow of time.
Now is the dawn of my rule.
No strawberry. The dog riddler Nitanavon. Jerem Maltel.
Yes.
Melera.
Pray to the world.
Not harsh. So no.
As your
I tell. Rechup uf oi denizai.
He must win.
Story begins at the first tournament. Cyrax, Sector, and the original Sub-Zero are invited to assassinate Earthrealm warriors. We first see Cyrax and Sector discussing the Cyber Initiative, and that by going along with it, it would be giving up their free wills and their souls. Sector pretty much just brushes off his concerns, stating that they are Lin Kuei and that they must obey the Grand Master. But before we get any real information, Scorpion appears and an endurance match takes place where Scorpion defeats Cyrax's Sector.
I understand there are benefits to the Grand Master's plan, but his plan goes against Lin Kuei principles.
We are Lin Kuei, Cyrax. We will obey the Grand Master's commands.
It means giving up our free will, our souls. It will turn us into...
Scorpion.
Your inferior clan is dead. Soon you will join them.
My clan may walk the earth once more.
A challenge! Scorpion versus Cyrax and Sector.
Your obsession with Sub-Zero ends here.
I will have my revenge, but I will not kill Sub-Zero.
Then Sub-Zero comes in and mocks Scorpion. They end up fighting, and due to Quan Chi's meddling, Scorpion loses control and kills Sub-Zero, ruining his one chance at having the Shirai Ryu restored to the realm of mortals. Raiden and Cyrax talk about Sub-Zero, and basically Cyrax swears revenge for Sub-Zero, but Raiden tells him that the Lin Kuei have a history with making ruinous choices, and that this was his own doing.
Despite my efforts, my vision has come to pass. An unfortunate end. He once defended Earthrealm from the Netherrealm armies of Shinnok and Quan Chi.
Scorpion will pay for this.
Sub-Zero's fate is his own doing.
His own doing?
The Lin Kuei have a history of making ruinous choices, such as the Cyber Initiative.
I am among those speaking out against the Grand Master's plan. Surgically transform the Lin Kuei into glorified robots? It kills our intuition, our instincts.
Did you speak out against the Lin Kuei's participation in this tournament?
We were invited by Shang Tsung.
He pays you to kill Earthrealm warriors. Betraying your own realm? I expect better, even from an assassin.
My loyalty is to the Grand Master.
Victory for Shang Tsung means the end of Earthrealm and the Lin Kuei.
This conversation would finally make Cyrax begin to question what he was doing, because by obeying the Grand Master's order, he would be dooming Earthrealm and the Lin Kuei. But Cyrax had an upcoming match with Johnny Cage, where he is supposed to kill Johnny, so he pushed those thoughts to the side for now, and he heads to the courtyard. He is ultimately ambushed by Shiva and Baraka at the pit, who are set to kill him by Shang Tsung. After dispatching the two of them, Cyrax makes it to the courtyard and tells Sector about Shang Tsung's treachery. However, Shang Tsung questions him because he was seen speaking to the Elder God. Sector steps in and says Cyrax is Lin Kuei. He will do what needs to be done. However, after defeating Cage, Cyrax ultimately decides he doesn't need to kill Johnny since he's eliminated from the tournament.
Sector, we need to talk. Our host tried to have me killed.
You were speaking with the Thunder God. Your indiscretion has jeopardized my plan.
Cyrax is Lin Kuei. He will complete his task.
We shall see. The next match will be Cyrax versus Johnny Cage.
What, me? All right, then. Not everyone gets to rumble with a celebrity. Ready for your beatdown, sunshine? Here it comes!
That should shut you up.
Finish him!
I won't kill him. Oh!
You were commanded to kill Johnny Cage. You disobeyed.
I eliminated him from the tournament. He didn't need to die.
You have broken your oath.
I used my judgment.
The Cyber Initiative will eliminate insubordination.
We're not machines, Sector. I chose to serve the Lin Kuei, but I will not surrender my free will. Tell the Grand Master, I am finished.
No one leaves the Lin Kuei.
Sector lectures Cyrax, saying that he has betrayed his oath. they get into a fight. Sector loses and Cyrax leaves the Lin Kuei. However, he shows up again later on in the story, fully cyberized. So Sector must have caught up to him later on, probably after he had been cyberized, and just captured him and brought him back to be transferred over as well. Similar to the previous timeline, obviously Cyrax is defeated by Sub-Zero again, but this time around Sub-Zero doesn't reprogram him, and Cyrax ends up fleeing after their fight. Cyrax then returns with Sector and Lin Kuei cyborgs to capture Sub-Zero. Sector and Cyrax speak with Shao Kahn that in exchange for letting them reclaim Sub-Zero, the Lin Kuei would offer their loyalty to him, which unfortunately led to Sub-Zero becoming fully cyberized.
You are ordered to return to the Lin Kuei temple for assimilation.
Cyrax!
I am Lin Kuei Unit LK4D4. You will come with me.
I'm sorry for what they did to you, but I will not comply. I will face the Lin Kuei when my task is done, not before. No, you...
Who now interrupts the Emperor's tournament?
Sub-Zero? No!
You cannot save him. Stay here, or they will take you as well.
We request that we be returned to our temple for judgment. And what do I gain from granting this bold request?
The Lin Kuei's loyalty and service.
Very well. He is yours.
The flow of time has been changed. I spared Smoke this fate, only to watch this new Sub-Zero fall.
No, I will not be turned!
But anyways, moving on to MK Eds. Cyrax does appear in the comics. Sub-Zero breaks into the hidden Cyber Lin Kuei base and uploads a virus to the mainframe that disengage the slaving protocols, which allows Cyrax to regain his free will. He instantly turns on Sector, and with the help of Kuai Liang, they put an end to Sector and his Cyber Lin Kuei. Sub-Zero does offer to help him find a way to restore his humanity, but Cyrax declines and tells Kuai that the Lin Kuei needs a clean slate and activates the auto-destruct sequence after naming Kuai Liang as the new Grand Master. MK11 does manage to bring back Sector and Cyrax back right before their deaths in the MKX comics. Cyrax is still under the slaving protocols in this iteration of him, but with the help of Scorpion and Sub-Zero, they managed to break him free from the slaving protocols.
You will be forced to serve. I've been down that road, Cyrax. Never again. Fight. Hurry, before we face more Cyber Lin Kuei.
You'll need a moment to initialize.
No. He ripped out my heart. Made me a machine.
Your soul is intact, Cyrax. Trust me. I speak from experience.
Kuai Liang. Is that you? You look so old. And Scorpion?
We'll explain later. For now, know we share the same goal. The Cyber Lin Kuei's destruction.
We need your help, Cyrax.
I can disable their communications network. It'll shut down this factory and every Cyber Lin Kuei connected to it.
He then aids them against Sector, and once he is defeated, Cyrax tells Sub-Zero goodbye. But again, Sub-Zero mentions that he will find a way to restore him. But this time around, Cyrax is more inclined to agree, but he just doesn't want to be brought back as a cyborg.
Frost warned me that you two would become allies. I did not think you capable of such dishonor, Sub-Zero. I'm in. I'll reformat the system drives and shut us all down. Goodbye, Kuai Liang.
It is not the end. I will find a way to restore you. Anything is possible. Hanzo and I are living proof.
Please, don't bring me back as a machine. I can't live like this.
Machine or man, you have a warrior soul. As long as I am Grandmaster, the Lin Kuei will welcome you.
Until we meet again.
Cyrax's part is relatively small in Mortal Kombat 11, but he does manage to delay the reconstruction of the Lin Kuei, or the Cyber Lin Kuei, saving more Lin Kuei from becoming cyberized and enduring the same fate he had to deal with. Cyrax has had it rough, honestly. He never really wanted to become a cyborg, but was forced against his will to become a slave to the Lin Kuei, which is pretty messed up when you really think about it. But anyways, in the new era, finally Cyrax will be a playable character again after missing the past 2 games. Cyrax will be making a reappearance in Mortal Kombat 11. However, in this timeline, he had been gender swapped, but the essence of his character seems to be intact. Cyrax is born into a different clan this time around, no longer a Matsuana warrior. Now, she hails from the Zaki clan, subclan of the Lin Kuei, who for generations trained warriors for the defense of Earthrealm. Cyrax is a martial arts prodigy and was the youngest Zaki ever to become an active Lin Kuei warrior. However, Cyrax has a knack for being independent from the Lin Kuei, and despite Sector's best efforts, like Cyrax doesn't break free of that independent spirit. Cyrax is a warrior, after all. Her warrior spirit remains strong, and she'll serve the way she wants to, or not at all. Now, piecing together what we have so far, when they first attacked the Wuxia temple, Cyrax seems to be putting on a front. When she interacts with Scorpion, she blames him for what is currently happening between the Lin Kuei, the Earthrealm, and basically the Shirai Ryu. We in fact learned that Cyrax is actually against the attack, because in her story trailer she mentions her feelings on Bihan's plan to attack Scorpion at his wedding.
We have found Kuai Liang and his Shirai Ryu. They gather at the Wuxi for his wedding.
Attack his wedding. We may win the battle, but find we lose the war. No one will respect us.
Better to be feared than respected.
However, she does ultimately follow orders, but she is clearly bothered by the carnage Lin Kuei has wrought during the actual fight. At some point during the wedding, the Lin Kuei seem to be forced back. I think that something serious happens and it causes Cyrax to leave the Lin Kuei, which is why we see her and Sector have that fight.
I was wrong, thinking you worthy of that armor. You are my instructor and my commander. Don't confuse that with being my superior.
But if we fast forward to when they're in the Chaos Realm, honestly, this part really seems to take place after Sub-Zero has already been killed, because it looks like they're in the Chaos Realm. Cyrax and Sector are having a heated argument that leads into a fight.
How long have we known each other? That you could ever believe
You vanished without explanation. Bihan, my Grand Master, gave me one.
You blame me for your actions?
Which I gotta say is probably the most emotion I've seen in Mortal Kombat 1, outside of that one moment with Liu Kang and Kitana. I think after the fight, we could see Sector probably appear, and that's when they all join forces to stop Havoc. Probably because, like, you know, Sector's like, oh, well, Sub-Zero's not around anymore, you know. Maybe she wants to try and save him, and maybe he just can't be saved, and he just stays as a noob Cyber. I don't know, like, obviously, you know, we're waiting for Sector's trailer to kind of see where that goes. But anyways, Cyrax has gotten the wrong end of the stick throughout every timeline. He becomes a slave to Sector and the Lin Kuei, losing not only his soul, but his free will as well. He has been taken against his will and used as a tool to further the Cyber Lin Kuei's mission throughout all the timelines. However, the warrior, though, he always sacrificed himself in order to protect the Lin Kuei's ideals and principles. Though sticking to his beliefs made him bump heads with not only the Grandmaster of the Lin Kuei, but also Sector, this ultimately led to him becoming a cyborg in every timeline. I wonder if he had gone to Raiden, would things have been different? maybe Raiden could have saved him from becoming cyberized. So far, Cyrax is free from becoming a cyborg, but a most recent intro between Cyrax and Sector might have something to say about that. If I can be a bit selfish here for a moment, I saw some artwork that I actually really liked, where it showed Cyrax and Sector in their Lin Kuei uniforms outside of the suits. And honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing a Lin Kuei version of the both of them, especially Sector. But anyways, them being outside the armor would be fire. I'm sure they'll have like a skin like that, similar to the Lin Kuei's version of Sub-Zero, Scorpion, all of them. But anyways, it would be really cool to see that again, like kind of like similar to MK9, where like they had all the warriors like that. But anyways, that's gonna do it for today's episode of Beyond the Hourglass. But before we get out of here, I have a question. Do you guys think the Cyber Initiative will be a thing in this timeline? Let me know in the comments below. And if you made it this far, guys, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Like, I really appreciate you guys' support. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Beyond the Hourglass.
I look forward to meeting again in the next timeline.
Then I will not say goodbye.
Please fill my cup. Am I really asking for much? It's been a long week, I'm looking for fun. Please fill my cup. Find me under the sun. SOS, I'm just looking for a good time. Whoa.